people are dead and 4 others are injured after a man opened fire at his workplace in Virginia Beach yesterday. We have the latest details on the investigation. And as Illinois is just one step away from legalizing recreational marijuana, Wisconsin residents and law enforcement are wondering how the state's southern border could be impacted. Plus, it's May, not football season, but Green Bay Packers already have their first injury. We have an update on head coach Matt LaFleur coming up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. How's your day going, Chris?
So far, so good. I got some rest last night. How about you?
I did. I did not go to bed as early as I probably should have, but I'm handling it.
That makes
what
two of
coffee's
us.
for.
That is what coffee's for. But you know what? I think 7 hours of sleep is good. We've had a good morning so far. We're going to keep the good morning going. We are watching the forecast out there today. And guess what? First of all, I do have to talk about yesterday for a minute. Check out some of these high temperatures yesterday. La Crosse made it all the way to 90 degrees. I'm ready to just jump into a pool thinking about that one, so I'll do that after the show. 80s for a lot of the state as well. We made it to 82 degrees yesterday. It was the warmest day of the year. We're starting to flip things around a little bit as we go through the rest of today, though. We're 5 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. We've got a little bit more cloud cover and some shower activity. The temperature right now in the upper 60s, though. This is as a stationary front gradually starts to lift northward as a warm front. That's going to happen today. Check out Janesville already at 70. Meanwhile, we're at 55 as you work your way towards Wautoma. We've seen some showers and thunderstorms blossom along this as well. They've been quick moving, so we're not really concerned about torrential downpours over an extended amount of time, but we've watched this overall line kind of transfer its energy from northern Wisconsin further south towards central and southern Wisconsin. That's going to be the theme as we go throughout the day. We're watching a little bit of a severe weather threat as well from about Madison and points southward into northern Illinois, and then a bigger severe weather threat from central Missouri over into central Illinois. So again, we're going to stay weather aware today. I don't think it's going to be a complete washout, though, by any means. So if you have outdoor plans, don't cancel them. Maybe you're headed to the farmer's market right after this weather segment. And here's the road as you head out. This is the Beltline at Stoughton. No big issues. There is some construction coming up on different parts of your route, but so far they're not creating any major delays, not on the Beltline or downtown either. So that's good news for your Saturday.
Great news.
Yeah, we'll keep it that way.
Well, stick around, watch the show, and then
go to the farmer's market.
Yeah, we'll probably see you there. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
We start this morning in Virginia, where 12 people are dead and 4 others are recovering after a man opened fire in their workplace yesterday. Here's CBS News' Katherine Johnson with more from Virginia Beach.
Authorities in Virginia Beach are searching for a motive after the latest mass shooting to hit the U.S.
This is the most devastating day in the history of Virginia Beach.
Police say the gunman, a longtime public utilities worker, entered the municipal building shortly after 4 p.m. Friday, armed with a .45 caliber handgun and a suppressor.
He immediately began to indiscriminately fire upon all the victims.
Officials rushed to the scene in response to frantic 911 calls and searched the building room by room.
Due to the sound of gunfire, they were able to locate the floor in which the suspect was committing his carnage. They immediately engaged with the suspect.
When workers here at the city government complex heard the gunfire, they quickly took cover.
My boss basically was like, "This is not a drill, get down, call 911. There was probably about 20 of us in an office crammed in. We barricaded the door.
The shooter was killed after a long gun battle with responding officers.
We're going to mention his name once, and then he will be forever referred to as the suspect, because our focus now is the dignity and respect to the victims in this case.
Victims were found on all 3 floors of the building, and one was found in a car outside. Vigils are planned around the area today as the city remembers those lost. Katherine Johnson, CBS News, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
One police officer was shot but was saved by his bulletproof vest. Authorities are waiting to name the gunman until his family is notified. More local news this morning. The family of a Madison woman who was shot and killed by police in 2014 has settled a lawsuit against the officers with the city of Madison. Madison police officers responded to reports of a domestic disturbance at an apartment on the city's east side back in May of 2014. When officers arrived, the then 26-year-old Ashley DiPiazza was armed. During their response, DiPiazza was shot and killed by two officers with the department. Her family said police responded poorly to a suicidal person having a mental health crisis, according to documents released yesterday. The family has settled the case with the state's insurance company for $4.25 million. The settlement is significantly less than the $7 million a jury awarded them in 2017 when they determined the two officers violated DiPiazza's constitutional rights. The Madison Police Department believes the officers acted appropriately because she was armed. Wisconsin law enforcement agencies are now looking at potential complications when it comes to drug enforcement along the Wisconsin-Illinois border, as Illinois is now one step closer to legalizing recreational marijuana. Yesterday, the Illinois House passed a bill to allow people 21 years and older to purchase and possess up to 30 grams of marijuana. That bill did already pass the Senate. It's headed to the governor's desk, who's expected to sign it. Now, some Wisconsinites who live near the border are hoping the change in Illinois has an impact here in Wisconsin. One of those people is Rock County Board Supervisor Yuri Rashkin, who says legalizing marijuana in Wisconsin could do more than just make residents here happy.
I think that fundamentally we're looking at tremendous financial impact that is going to go south of the border, and money that people could have been spending here in Wisconsin, they're instead going to be spending in Illinois.
This past November, Rashkin worked to include a referendum to gauge Wisconsinites' interest in legalization. 70% of voters said they'd vote yes given the chance. Meanwhile, law enforcement officials are reminding residents that just because the states are close, they do not share laws. Now, if signed, the bill in Illinois could take effect as early as January 1st. A full-spectrum resort and casino is one step closer to reality in Beloit. The Federal Bureau of Indian Affairs has published a final environmental impact statement, the latest milestone for a concept that's been in the works for more than 2 decades. The casino and indoor water park are slated for a stretch along I-90 in Beloit near the state line and estimated to bring 2,700 jobs to the area. City leaders say they're hoping they'll have final approval for the project by the end of the summer.
This is the most significant progress we have seen since the project started in 2012, and everything that we are hearing from both the Bureau and the Governor's office are very positive.
There will be 30 days of public comment for the casino. After that, the federal government has to give its final approval for the project before sending it to Governor Tony Evers' desk. His staff tells us he'll carefully review the application and listen to all sides of the issue. Here in Madison, the 2 men who founded the controversial Rastafarian church on West Mifflin Street are out on signature bond this morning after making their first appearances in court yesterday. Police arrested Jesse Schwark and Dylan Banger earlier this week after a raid at the Lion of Judah Rastafari Church. They're facing tentative drug charges, including possession and maintaining a drug trafficking place. The 2 claimed their religion allowed them to legally share marijuana with the members of their organization. The state argues otherwise. The 2 are not allowed to go to the church building or possess any controlled substance while they're out on bond. They'll both be back in court next Thursday. Milwaukee City Council will consider a $400,000 settlement offer for Milwaukee Bucks guard Sterling Brown. Brown filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city after he was tased by police who were responding to a parking violation at a Walgreens parking lot last year. Brown claims excessive force was used in a wrongful arrest yesterday. His attorney said he doesn't have enough facts on the potential offer and hasn't spoken to Brown about it.
So I can only say that on behalf of Mr. Brown, we are waiting to see whatever this offer is, if in fact the resolution is taken up by the City Council.
A Milwaukee City Council committee will consider a resolution on the settlement on June 10th. Football season isn't anywhere close to starting, and the Packers already have one major injury in the offseason to their head coach, Matt LaFleur. The first-year head coach tore his Achilles tendon playing basketball inside the Packers facility at Lambeau. He'll have surgery on Sunday and then will be coaching from a golf cart for a bit. The team has 2 more weeks in the offseason. Listen up, Badger fans. We now know a handful of matchups and dates ahead of this fall's football season. The Badgers will kick off their season with an away game against South Florida on August 30th. Then they'll come home for 3 games, the first against Central Michigan on September 7th, then Michigan again at home September 21st, Michigan State on October 12th, and then they'll be at Illinois on October 19th. We have a first alert traffic note for you if you plan to make your way to downtown Madison this weekend. The annual Ride the Drive is happening tomorrow. That means John Nolan Drive will be closed from Olin Avenue all the way to Willie Street between 9:30 and 4 tomorrow for the event. The 4-mile stretch of road is free for everyone to bike or walk as part of the event, and the 3 parks on that stretch, Olin, Brittingham, and Law Parks, will have a variety of fun activities for the whole family. That includes a rock wall, a cyclocross course, and disc golf. The parks will also have free bike safety check stations. The fun starts at 11 tomorrow morning and runs until 3 in the afternoon. It's all part of Bike Week here in Madison, which officially kicks off today. The week is about thanking those who are riding on 2 wheels to school, work, or for fun, and meant to encourage others to join. Today is National Trails Day, so the DNR is allowing everyone to bike on state trails without a pass this weekend. There are plenty of other bike stations and events during the week as well. We'll have a link with the details on channel3000.com. We've got more local news coming up after the break. Plus, Chris Reese is in with your look at your full forecast. That's next on News 3 Now this morning.
Well, for the first time, we were able to use the word hot to describe the weather in some spots. Yesterday, La Crosse made it all the way up towards 90 warm degrees. Black River Falls topped out at 89. We saw a lot of these temperatures topping out into the middle and even upper 80s for your Friday. Madison, one of the cooler spots yesterday at 82. But as we round out the month of May, we start to see that it was overall a cooler month. I mean, out of 31 days, 20 of them featured temperatures that were well below average. We did round out well above average yesterday, but for the month as a whole, we are 1.4 degrees cooler. than what's typical of May. Now, today will be cooler than average as well, especially as we move into the afternoon. Instead of seeing those highs right around 74, we're likely going to top things out right around 68 degrees or so. That's with the cloud cover sticking around. In fact, that's kept us cool right now. We're at 62. Winds coming out of the east and northeast now at 5 miles per hour. The humidity has also gone up. We have 84% humidity. That's because we're starting to get a little bit more moisture into the air. The reason for that, there's a stationary front that is trying to push northward as a little bit of a warm front throughout the day. Check out Janesville already at 70, 69 as you work your way towards Monroe. Meanwhile, the Dells, they sit at 58. But this whole area, folks, that's going to be the focal point of where I believe we will see some showers and thunderstorms going throughout the day. We've seen some of those already this morning. A lot of that now pushing towards the north and east. You have a larger complex of thunderstorms from the Dells up towards Wausau. Once that moves towards the east, we'll get a little bit of a break in the action before more showers and thunderstorms move back in later on. From the Dells down towards the state line, we will see a threat for some severe weather, especially from Milwaukee over towards Madison. Now, the greatest threat is going to be from central Illinois back through central Missouri when it comes to the true worst severe weather across the country. Today, I think for us, we'll just be dealing with the potential for some hail and high winds. Notice the greatest thunderstorm activity is confined towards the north and east. I do think, though, that back in the south and west, this model is underdoing it just a little bit. I think we'll see some stronger storms move through, say, this part of the state anywhere from about 3 o'clock towards 5 o'clock before that rolls on out of here. Sunshine, though, will then take over as we head into Sunday. We're talking temperatures topping out around 70 degrees Sunday afternoon as well, but that will not be the only day that we see these warmer temperatures either. 77 by Tuesday. Notice the stretch of sunshine throughout the work week. It has been a very long time since we have been able to say that one, folks. And then the next rain chance comes in Friday night into Saturday. But even still, next weekend does not look to be a washout at this point. So it's not too bad of a forecast at all.
Not too bad at all. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Okay, a new report shows 350 active rape cases were delayed last year while the state crime lab worked to review a backlog of untested rape kits. The DOJ started looking at untested rape kits sitting on hospital and police shelves in 2016. In 2018, state labs took in more than 8,500 cases and only completed DNA testing on 65% of them. More than half of the state's DNA analysts were tied up reviewing the old kits, spending 5,000 hours on the project last year alone. A group of Republican lawmakers are speaking out against President Trump's plan to impose tariffs on Mexico to pressure the country into minimizing illegal immigration across the American border. But one U.S. senator from Wisconsin was less critical.
The president is fully aware of my view on tariffs and the trade war. What I don't want to do is undermine, if he's using this as a negotiating tactic, I don't want to undermine his negotiating tactic.
Senator Johnson is a critic of tariffs and doesn't want them to go through. He's also been outspoken about the need to reduce the number of people seeking asylum at the southern border and said he hopes President Trump is just trying to get Mexico's attention. The Wisconsin legislature's top Republicans say they'll scrap Governor Evers' budget proposal to raise the gas tax to help pay for roads. Evers' budget would initially raise the gas tax by 8 cents per gallon. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says the GOP has ruled out raising the gas tax, but may increase fees. A federal judge has rejected Shopko's bankruptcy plan. The U.S. Bankruptcy Court judge applauded the efforts of Shopko officials, creditors, attorneys, and consultants to bring the matter to a close, but he refused to approve the plan this week because it would have barred creditors from pursuing legal claims against Shopko. The Green Bay-based retail store chain filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in January, and back in March announced it would close all of its locations by this summer. There's a new study that says Wisconsin's skilled worker gap is the 8th highest in the country. According to the Wisconsin Policy Forum, more than 20% of Wisconsin natives between the ages of 31 and 40 with a college degree moved away from the state in 2017. Less than 10% of highly educated people moved to the Badger State that year. Coming up, we're looking ahead to some activities the entire family can enjoy this summer, and there are several shows and movies you should find time for this weekend. Will's in next with 3 things to watch. That's just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
Well, we're watching a little bit of a hazy look outside this morning. A live look from our station camera just shows you how milky the horizon almost is. That's as a little bit of smoke comes down from wildfires burning across Alberta, Canada right now. We are going to get in on a little bit of a rain chance today as well. We do have this stationary front that's gradually trying to lift as a warm front through the area. Check it out, 70 in Monroe and Janesville. Meanwhile, 58 in the Dells. 51 as you work your way over towards Manitowoc and Sheboygan. We have seen some showers and thunderstorms associated with this throughout the day. Right now, some of the strongest storms over towards the east of Janesville. You're talking just northeast of Elkhorn and parts of Walworth County. But as we zoom things out, watch how this energy has really transferred from in the Northwoods down towards southern Wisconsin as we've gone throughout the morning. I think southern Wisconsin is going to be the area to focus on as we go throughout the day. Expect multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Of course, we'll keep you up to date. Amy?
Thanks, Chris. Well, with a day of rain in the forecast, it's a perfect Saturday to head to the theaters or curl up on the couch. Here's Will Loper's 3 things to watch.
I have a bag that I found that I think belongs to Greta Hadag.
Oh, bless your heart. Where did you find it?
On the subway.
New on home video this week is the thriller Greta.
Where are the candles?
In the cabinet.
Isabelle Hubert plays a sweet old lady who just wants to care for Chloe Grace Moretz.
She's really freaking me out. This is not a problem.
Public area, her rights are protected.
Well, maybe not.
She had to die for us to me!
Are you out of your mind?
Look at her! She's full of greetings! She's gone, Francis!
Greta is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Everyone needs a friend.
Hey!
Hi, Marcus.
Yeah, hi, Sasha. Hi. Hello. Hi.
Long time.
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the romantic comedy Always Be My Maybe.
I guess I have to start dating again. Ugh, is there anything worse?
You and Marcus are so cute.
No.
Remind me why you never got together?
There's way too much history there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ali Wong and Randall Park star as childhood friends who reconnect as adults.
You don't want to wonder what if. Tell her how you feel, son.
I have some news.
So do I.
It's big.
Mine's big, too. Okay, look,
Okay, I want to go first. I met someone.
Wow, that's so great.
Always Be My Maybe is available to stream on Netflix now.
Oh, there he is.
My God.
Hey, make some friends.
Sorry.
My bad.
Finally, this week marks the 5-year anniversary of The Fault in Our Stars.
So, what's your story?
I was diagnosed when I was 13.
Your real story.
I am quite unextraordinary.
I reject that out of hand.
Shailene Woodley stars as a teen with cancer who falls in love with a boy, played by Ansel Elgort, in the movie where you'll need 200 Kleenex boxes while watching.
I hope you realize you trying to keep your distance from me in no way lessens my affection for you.
Gus, I'm a grenade. One day I'm gonna blow up, and I'm gonna obliterate everything in my wake, and I don't want to hurt you.
The Fault in Our Stars is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
It's a good life, Hazel Grace.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, the team's inviting the whole family to join them for a family night this summer. The Packers announced they're holding family night on Friday, August 2nd. It's the 19th year for the event. It features a full practice, game day, music, and fireworks show. There's also a random drawing to win the jerseys that players wear during the scrimmage. Tickets are $10 a person, and they'll go on sale July 2nd. If you're looking to take a family trip to Chicago this summer, Amtrak has some big discounts. Children 12 and under can ride with an adult for free on weekend trips from Milwaukee to the Windy City. Students ages 13 to 25 can get a 15% discount. You can buy tickets online at AmtrakHiawatha.com. There's much more ahead on News 3 this morning, Saturday. Next, we're running through this morning's top stories, including the president's newest tariff threat to help solve immigration issues at the border. Plus, we have an update on Pyro, the police pup making a recovery after being injured on the job. Those stories are next on News 3 Now this morning. Now, a local teacher is under investigation following several sexual harassment allegations spanning years. We'll have those details. And demolition continues on the former General Motors plant in Janesville as crews took down one of the last standing structures yesterday morning. Plus, the measles outbreak continues across the United States, now with more than 950 cases confirmed. The latest numbers are ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm Amy Reed. We'll get a check of your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, let's get you caught up on today's headlines. We start this half hour in Virginia, where 12 people are dead and 4 others are injured following a shooting at a government building complex. It happened in Virginia Beach, a coastal city in that state, around 4 p.m. yesterday. The suspect, a longtime public utilities worker, was killed in a long gunfire battle with responding officers. One police officer was shot, but he was saved by his bulletproof vest. The suspect has been named this morning. Investigators are still looking for a motive this morning. Vigils are planned around the area today as the city remembers those lost. There's ongoing concern over conditions for immigrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. This comes on the heels of a recent dramatic increase in migrant apprehensions at the southern border. On Wednesday, Border Patrol agents in El Paso apprehended more than 1,000 people crossing a border fence, the largest one-day arrest yet. Earlier this month, Department of Homeland Security watchdogs discovered that a processing center in El Paso intended to hold 125 migrants was actually holding 900 people. They also found conditions to be dangerous and unsanitary. Families make up the bulk of the apprehensions between January and April of this year. Of the more than 306,000 people apprehended at the southern border, more than half were family units. President Trump is now threatening to put a 5% tariff on a broad range of imports from Mexico in hopes of pressuring Mexico into helping stop the flow of migrants into the U.S. The increase is set to go into effect June 10th and then increase by 5% every month following, capping at 25%. Mexico's president criticized the move and reminded President Trump of the United States' history of welcoming immigrants, saying the Statue of Liberty is not an empty symbol. Many businesses, lawmakers, and foreign trading partners fear it will lead to price hikes for U.S. consumers. Those concerns weighed on the markets, with the Dow falling nearly 355 points. President Trump says the tariff will be removed if the illegal migration crisis is alleviated. Right now, the measles outbreak is continuing across the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control say the number of measles cases has spiked to 971. That surpasses total cases back in 1992. Officials say if current outbreaks continue through the fall, the U.S. may lose its elimination status, a goal first announced in 1966 and accomplished by the year 2000. Chris, give us some good news today.
Well, we'll work on that. In the meantime, we're focusing on I-39 and over towards the east. That's where we're seeing the shower and thunderstorm activity so far this morning. A nice little strong thunderstorm moving through Beloit right now, and then just towards the south and east of Janesville. You have some other storms just towards the north and east of Elkhorn throughout parts of Walworth County. Towards the north and east of the Dells, over towards Poynette and Portage, you're getting in on some showers and thunderstorms. And again, as you work your way over towards Waupun. So a little bit of an active morning for the eastern half of the area. We've been tracking them for the past couple of hours, and watch how they really developed towards the south in time. We'll see more thunderstorms going throughout the day as well. We actually do have a risk for severe weather and marginal to slight risk for the southern half of the state, especially as you work your way closer towards that state line. The tornado threat, thankfully, is fairly low. It does exist, but it's low. We're really going to be focusing in on the potential for some quarter-sized hail and then some winds upwards towards 60 miles per hour. All of this, Amy, being driven by the stationary front that's gradually trying to lift northward, and then eventually the region of low pressure back towards the west is going to work a cold front into town as well. That's really going to be the final kick for some showers and thunderstorms as we move into the afternoon and evening. So, of course, stay tuned to News 3 Now First Alert Weather. We'll be keeping you guys up to date throughout the day.
Thanks, Chris. More local news this morning. A teacher in the Adams Friendship School District is under investigation. This comes after a parent alleges he sexually harassed female students on a school trip to Florida. That parent wishes to remain anonymous. She says John Bros made inappropriate comments of a sexual nature to her daughter during a DECA championship, which was just 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, we spoke to Bros' former student, Wendy Scarpinato, who alleges something similar happened to her decades ago in 1996. Bros was suspended without pay from fall of 96 to November 1997. He disputed the claims, but an arbitrator sided with the district's decision to suspend him. Scarpinato said she's speaking publicly for the first time because of the latest allegations.
I would like to see him never teach again, never be involved with kids again. He's clearly got a problem.
The school district would not comment further. A man representing Bros said the allegations are false, and he recommends his client seek legal action against anyone who makes accusations. The date has been set for hearings on complaints against a contractor involved in last summer's fatal explosion in downtown Sun Prairie. The State Journal reports the Public Service Commission will hold sessions 2 weeks from today to gather evidence about whether drilling company VC Tech violated state law when it failed to call Diggers Hotline that day. The commission will allow public comment at a second hearing scheduled for the same day. New this morning, one of the last structures still standing at the site of the old General Motors plant in Janesville has now been demolished. The Janesville Gazette reports the facade facing Jackson Street was demolished yesterday, and the demo was not announced. It drew a handful of folks to watch it happen. It started around 7 in the morning. By 11:30, about half the structure was razed. The plant closed back in 2008. GM sold the 300-acre property to Commercial Development Company in 2017. Also new this morning, tens of Dane County residents' identities have been compromised after duplicates of their driver's license were ordered. The State Journal reports duplicates of 71 driver's licenses were fraudulently ordered. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation said several people reported receiving duplicate licenses in the mail they had not ordered for themselves. 27 of those cases were mailed. 44 others were caught before being sent out. They do not know if any of the licenses mailed have been intercepted by the person responsible for the orders. The duplicates were ordered through the DMV's online portal and required a social security number, license number, and date of birth for the orders to be processed. The DOT online ordering system is shut down at this time. If you're one of the people impacted, you'll receive a notice in the mail. In Green Bay, the Green Bay Police Department is welcoming one of its canine officers back to full duty. In April, Canine Pyro was stabbed and nearly lost his life. He needed surgery to repair wounds to his neck, carotid artery, esophagus, and stomach. He made a quick recovery and had been working light duty before returning to the field yesterday. In a Facebook post, Chief Andrew Smith thanked everyone who sent prayers, cards, and letters. Looking for something to do this weekend? We've got you covered. From eating cheese and petting baby cows at the farmer's market this morning to all the spaghetti and cannoli you can get your hands on at Festa Italia. The weekend in the 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning.
We've had a lot of showers and thunderstorms this morning. Now a lot of that is confined towards the eastern half of the state, especially along and towards the east of the I-39 corridor. Let's go ahead and jump over into Doppler track, showing you just where those showers and thunderstorms came from, where they're setting up now, and we're tracking those. Quite a bit of lightning and some of these storms moving over towards Fond du Lac, some other storms near Beloit moving over towards Elkhorn this morning, and that is not the only round of showers and thunderstorms we will have to go through. As the warm front begins to lift towards the north, we will see warmer temperatures along with more storms, but then the whole region of low pressure and the cold front still has to come through later on this afternoon. That's the period that I'm watching for the best chance of some severe storms that'll be mainly along and south of the I-94 corridor. So of course, we'll keep you guys up to date going throughout the day.
Of course. And it's the weekend in the 608.
That's right. It should be a great weekend to get outdoors. There's free admission at state parks both today and tomorrow.
But if the rain's wanting to get you inside a little bit, there's a big Broadway show.
Yeah, that's right. It opens at the Overture. It's in collaboration with Madison Ballet. The wartime musical On the Town hits the Overture's Capitol Theater. Shows are tonight through Sunday. Set in 1944, the musical depicts 3 sailors on a 24-hour leave in New York City.
Should be fun. And down the street on campus, something for the arts. The Chazen Museum of Art gives guests a rare behind-the-scenes look at the private spaces where artists create their works. The exhibit is called In the Studio, and it's curated by the Chazen director, Amy Gilman. It pulls from the museum's vast collections. That opens this weekend. It runs through July.
Another good excuse to head down to the farmers market is the annual Cows on the Concourse to kick off June Dairy Month. Hosted on the Capitol Square, kids and adults can meet and greet cows from local dairy farms. You can also find all the fun in the 100 block of Martin Luther King Boulevard. That's until 1 o'clock.
That sounds fun. And finally, some festivals around the area. Come celebrate all things Italian at Festa Italia in Fitchburg at McKee Farms Park. But mainly food, music, and games. Friday night had a pasta dinner and music by Jerry DiMaggio and Eddie Butts. Today and tomorrow offers a bocce tournament, cooking demo, pasta eating contest, folk dancing, a parade, and more music, and a few other area festivals. Verona Hometown Days, Deerfield Firemen's Festival, and Edgerton has Tobacco Heritage Days.
Yeah, we'll need to contact Gary Canalti for some Italian roots there. But as always, you can get this month's copy of Madison Magazine for all of the bests in the Madison area.
We've got more local news coming up on News 3 Now this morning, including a look at today's weather.
That's right. You are looking live from the station sky camera. A little bit hazy out there. This is now Platteville. Of course, I have your full forecast coming up on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
First, let's look at who's 3 today. Happy birthday, Ivy.
Good morning, folks. We're coming off the heels of what was a very warm Friday. Some folks made it into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Now, today, it's a little bit cooler out there. We're going to stay cooler throughout the day as well. We're at 62 in Madison right now. That's all thanks to cloud cover coming in, but there's moisture added to the air. Check out the humidity, 84% humidity as we speak. Here's the overall setup. Notice things are a little bit cooler in the north, 50s as you work your way towards central and northern Wisconsin, 70s down towards the state line. We actually have a front right on top of us, folks. It's stationary right now. It has not moved all that much. It's been very slow to do so. Once it begins to move, I think it's going to move slightly towards the north as a little bit of a warm front, and then eventually there's a cold front back to the west, folks. This still has to come through later on. That's going to have more of an impact in our weather. But the storms have really fired up this morning. They're now across the eastern half of the area. We're going to get in on a little bit of a break, but then more storms are going to come our way later on. You can actually see some of those starting to develop near the I-35 corridor throughout parts of Iowa. We have a little bit of a severe threat as well that's going to focus on southern Wisconsin. The greatest severe threat, of course, is going to be well to our south. We're talking central Missouri over towards central Illinois. But we're going to focus very much on the I-94 corridor over from the southeastern part of Dane County towards Milwaukee and then down towards the state line. I think this is going to be the area in Wisconsin that has the best chance to see some severe storms as we go throughout today. In fact, as we put future track into motion, here we are at 12 o'clock. Temperatures will be into the upper 60s at this point. Notice what happens right around 2 to 3 o'clock. We'll see these showers and thunderstorms begin to blossom right along where that front is set up right now. That'll move from Madison towards the south and east with the shower coverage increasing as you work your way over towards the Milwaukee metro. We're going to watch for the potential of some hail along with high winds during that. We also cannot rule out the possibility of an isolated tornado, but I will say that threat is not that strong as we go throughout today. That pushes off. Watch what happens. Clearing skies overnight. We'll fall down into the 40s. Then it's sunshine and 70 as we begin to move into your Sunday. I think a lot of folks are going to be really excited to see these warmer temperatures. 73 on Monday, 77 on Tuesday. And notice, Amy, that's an entire stretch of a forecast that has plenty of sunshine within it. We'll have another true rain chance Friday night into Saturday. And then there's a minor rain chance Tuesday night into Wednesday. But for the most part, we have the driest forecast that we've probably had since 2019 began.
I'm digging it. Thank you, Chris.
I think we all are.
It's a great day. We want you to share your morning with us. Here's one from Paula Pritchard from rural Monticello. Oh my goodness, beautiful picture. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post on Channel 3000 Facebook page using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here. This morning, Danica Lewis is introducing us to one of our BU ambassadors.
Where's your other wheel? If you find yourself in the O'Keefe Middle School gym on a Friday afternoon,
you're weird. You look like you're a circus performer.
You may question your definition of weird.
They stare at you.
Or more likely, how many wheels weird has.
We all do it anyway because it is so cool. And it does make you unique and special. And then what comes from there is the idling. You stand out, but yet you're like, what? It's just riding a unicycle. Sitting up. Good, much better. If you're going to be here, you should sort of be part of the culture. Sit down.
A culture Jill Cohen
stand up
brought here.
Sit down.
That has students of all ages bouncing, dropping seats, and defying rules of physics.
A lot about balance, but it's not too hard once you know how.
Jay Coleman is in the choreography portion of the program, learning single-spoked routines for national championships.
Keep going, because it takes a really long time to learn this.
Jay's been riding for about 3 years now, one of the higher-level kids in the club who are responsible for teaching new unicyclists the ropes.
It makes it their group, not my group. And they all get better than I do. They're all better than I am, which is really nice. Are you guys gonna practice one forward, one backward? Learning a new thing keeps you humble and keeps you remembering what that feels like. And that point of frustration where you just want to quit and the point of frustration where you want to throw the unicycle. Hand up high. Recognizing when you accomplish something, that feeling of, okay, what do I want to do next? Nice. That was good.
You should probably keep trying, because there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, but it's pretty easy to make it right.
So who cares what's weird?
And find a unicycle.
Because once you saddle up with a tribe on one wheel, even a tumble is part of a team.
It's something no one can take away. Once you can learn to ride, it's a huge part of you, and it just is.
Danica Lewis, News 3 Now this morning.
Here's a fun fact. Jill unicycled 500 miles in a single year just to prove she could. Thanks to Jill for being a great example of what it means to be you and sharing that with these kids. You can continue to follow more local news throughout the day over on channel3000.com. Plus, we got more News 3 Now tonight at 6 and 10. But first, we're taking it down south where some New Orleans residents may have a solution for Wisconsin's pothole problems. That story next on News 3 Now this morning. Finally, this morning, we're heading to New Orleans, where some residents are doing their part in fixing up potholes.
Yeah, maybe there's something we ought to give a try here in Wisconsin, but let's take a look.
We all face bumpy roads.
That's just part of our life.
But some,
I think it adds a lot.
find ways to make the rough patches brighter.
Anything we can do to, to add some life and color and happiness to the neighborhood is great.
April English says this pothole has been next to her Irish Channel home since she moved in last year.
Came out Sunday morning and the pothole was full of very colorful, bright yarn balls.
Someone overnight this weekend decided to give the hole a colorful fill. It has many talking and taking pictures.
You could say there was being artistic or creative.
The quirky take on a citywide headache.
I see they got half socks in there.
People film with Mardi Gras beads.
It's something these neighbors have seen before.
People had margarita parties in one a few weeks ago.
Neighbors in the Irish Channel say seeing potholes decorated in different ways isn't necessarily anything new. In fact, a few blocks away on Washington Avenue, you'll find Homer Simpson in a Barbie car.
It's like welcome to New Orleans, where the second lines, the Mardi Gras, and the potholes.
Valerie Miles tells us someone gave Homer a new home in this pothole a few weeks ago.
It's naturally New Orleans, because nothing not getting done around here. So we had to make a joke out of it.
And since
my neighbors just kept adding things.
While they all wish there was a quicker fix to the rough roads,
it's unacceptable. I really think it's unacceptable.
these neighbors don't mind making light of the situation.
I find it hilarious. I mean, I think it's part of what makes New Orleans great.
Proving that even the bumpiest roads can take you on a bright journey.
Definitely something we should try here.
Yeah, and that's a great line at the end. The bumpiest roads can take you on a bright journey. How about that? The bumpiest forecast can still take you on a bright journey. Now, it's not too bumpy, but it's been bumpy really since like January 1st around here. We went through 6 weeks of getting punched in the face by snowstorms, and then it has just rained ever since. But I think we will have a nice stretch of sunshine. We're talking Sunday through Thursday. There might be a little bit of rain overnight Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Hopefully, we can stay dry at that point. We'll track that. The next true rain chance that I'm watching is going to be Friday night into Saturday. For this afternoon, though, pay attention, especially along and south of that I-94 corridor. I think we'll see some showers of thunderstorms fire up. Some of those could be severe with damaging wind and hail. So stay tuned for that one. In the meantime, here is Miley and Lodi.
So cute.
Absolutely.
Freaking love dogs. They're the best. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.